So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. ETIM, EFFIONG and Toyosi. What is going on here? A lot of people have reached out to me and said, Neze, are you seeing what we are seeing? Are you hearing what we are hearing? What are your thoughts? We want to hear them. What do you think about the EFFIONGs? That's the internet children have now declared couple of particular concern. Now, when I want to react on a public figure, I really do not like coming from tearing down, scorn, and vile judgments. The first thing that guides me is the knowledge that they are human too, fallible like we all are. So I prefer to react to the stories from a place of understanding who they really are, their history, their childhood, their background, their traumas, their temperaments, their experiences, because these things are the core influences of how we turn out and why we act the way we do. And that's why I take out so much time, indeed so much time, you have no idea, researching to tell the story from the foundation to the best of my knowledge and capacity. Just like when I told the story of Frank Edoho, I got to discover his history of trauma with his parents' divorce when he was young, the feelings of abandonment he felt, his battle with severe depression. Now, it didn't and does not excuse certain conduct, especially as an adult. We should be responsible for ourselves, but it gave me an insight and some perspective. So, to fully appreciate and understand the Daniel ETIM story, let me start by taking us back down memory lane. Before we proceed with the video, if you are new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching us without subscribing, don't forget, do not hesitate, do not delay to hit the subscribe button down there. Give the video a big thumbs up. I assure you that there is so much that you're going to learn here. There's so much you're going to get. Drop all your thoughts down in the comment section because we would love to hear from you. And stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. Don't forget to grab a copy of our book, The Unbroken Spirit. Oh, your body can be tired, but your spirit should never be broken. It is a powerful guide and resource to spotting harm, setting realistic boundaries, and rebuilding. Look at it. It is not all that bulky. It's just the amount of pages that you can conveniently read and understand. So scan this code to get one, or you can make request to the link down in the comment section. Send us book to info@nezeville.com if you're having any challenges. So let's get back to the video. Daniel ETIM EFFIONG is a Nigerian actor, producer, director, and media entrepreneur. He hails from Cross River State and was born on the 24th of June, 1983 in Jaji, Kaduna State. So he is 43 at the time of making this video in 2026, if my mathematics does not fail me. Now, Daniel ETIM, as he is commonly referred to, had a very, very rough start at life. When he was only one, his father, Lieutenant Colonel Moses EFFIONG, who was a lieutenant colonel in the Nigerian army, was arrested for complicity in treason.
I was 1 year old, you know, when he was arrested. He was arrested and tried for complicity in trying to overthrow the government, right? Allegedly for treasonable offenses, for coup against President Ibrahim Babangida.
Now, for those who do not know, treason is the offense of trying to overthrow the government, betraying your own country, and it is considered the most serious offense against the state. It is a capital offense in Nigeria. So what happened? There was this high-ranking officer in the Nigerian army who happened to be a very good friend of Etim's dad. They were really close. They lived together in the army barracks there in Kaduna. Their children played together. This friend had secretly plotted a coup d'etat, along with some other military personnel, the 1985 Maman Vatsa coup, to overthrow the then Ibrahim Babangida military government. Should we say fortunately or unfortunately, the coup plot was foiled, and when that friend was arrested and of course tortured, he began singing. He claimed that he had confided in Daniel's dad about his plans to stage that coup. And despite Daniel's dad denied those claims, saying that he was not aware and he was not told, that he is being wrongly and falsely implicated, he was arrested for treason and whisked off to Kirikiri Maximum Prison.
I was born into a military family, and we lived in Kaduna, in Jaji. And there was a coup to try to overthrow the then government of Ibrahim Babangida. And for some reason, we had a neighbor who was really close to us, and he was one of the masterminds of the coup. And so he was hell-bent on making sure my dad went down with him.
Now, treason is so serious an offense that it is not only the active participants that get the wrath of its repercussions. Even those who knew of it and did not report it, did not say anything, are also liable. Etim's father was court-martialed and sentenced to die by firing squad. That friend of his, along with some others, were immediately executed.
And of course, when the whole thing was leaked and he was arrested, his best friend was arrested. His best friend said, they asked his best friend, who did you tell about this coup? And he said he told. And of course, my dad was arrested as well, and he was tried, and he was sentenced to death by firing squad.
But by some stroke of luck, some sheer stroke of luck, Lieutenant Colonel EFFIONG's charge was reviewed downwards from treason proper, which comes with a death penalty, to treasonable felony. And so his sentence was commuted to a life imprisonment jail time.
Miraculously, he survived that ordeal. A man walked into the room with a list of, I think, 3 names. They now took those men that were going on transfer to the backyard of Kirikiri and shot them. Tap, 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 tap.
Wow.
And that's how they died. And then my father his sentence was then commuted to life in prison.
He was subsequently moved from Kirikiri Maximum Prison in Lagos to the Kano Central Prison in Kano to spend the rest of his life. With all the fear and the shock, Etim's mother took baby Etim, remember he was just 1 year old, and his siblings, and they left Kaduna, relocating to Edo State, where his mother hails from, to be with her people. And so she would travel all the way from Edo State to Kano State. Now, if you are not Nigerian, these are like 2 different provinces. These are like not Edo State is in the south, Kano is in the north. 2 different poles. That is over 30 hours by road to and fro. She will go bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, to see her husband in jail, take food to him, and straighten him, while also running up and down, helter skelter, office to office, talking to people, trying to get help for her husband. She was doing this religiously for 3 years.
He went to prison. He was transferred to Kano Central Prison. My mom ran helter-skelter, trying to, talk to people, trying to get solutions, all of that. And she had to move us to Benin, where her family was at the time. And of course, you'll be shuttling Benin, Kano, Benin, every 2 weeks to visit him.
On one of those road trips to Kano prison, Etim's mother was involved in a ghastly motor accident that claimed her life.
4 years later, my mom was going to visit my dad in prison, because at that time they had transferred my dad to Kano Central Prison. They took the southerners to the north and they took the northerners to the south. Right? The people who they incarcerated for life. my mom was traveling to go visit my father in Kanu Central Prison, where she had an accident and she died.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I was 4 when my mom died. I was 1 when my dad went away.
Etim's father almost ran mad. The guilt, the hurt, the confusion. He couldn't even pay his last respect and attend the funeral of the woman who died trying to comfort and save him. Etim at the time was only 4 years old.
And of course that broke him. That totally shattered my father. He had to deal with all of that in prison. He couldn't even attend his own wife's funeral.
So while his father was rotting away in the prison, serving a life sentence for a crime he claimed he knew nothing about, his mother had suddenly and tragically died.
And I have one memory of that incident. I remember waking up very early in the morning and realizing that my mom was traveling. And of course, I made a fuss that I wanted to go with her, as kids usually do. And I cried and cried that she mustn't go there. I must go with her. I must go with her. And I remember her pulling me off and handing me over to a nanny and telling the nanny to take me away. You know, that was the last time I ever saw her.
Etim was taken and raised by his grandparents. But when they began getting old and frail, his uncle and aunt had to take him from his grandparents. And so he moved to Lagos State to live with them.
So I was practically raised by my grandparents and my uncles and aunties.
Etim attended St. Mary's Private School in Lagos Island, there in Lagos, and then Government College Ikorodu for his secondary education. Having such rocky, bumpy start at life sure affected Etim in no small measure. Growing up with all of that hurt, he had to grow up really fast. And despite his experience could explain it if he chose the path of rebellion and recalcitrance, Daniel still managed to stay level-headed, unbroken, and focused.
And I lived through all of that. And you're right, the bitterness could have entered me and I could have grown up a terrible person.
After his secondary education, he got into the Federal University of Technology in Minna. Minna, that should be Niger State, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Where he gained admission to study chemical engineering. Now, let me mention here that as God will have it, as we say in Nigeria, Etim's father didn't get to spend the whole of his life in prison. 8 years into his sentence, in 1993, he was released by the IBB government and then later granted a full presidential pardon by the late former president Muhammad Buhari in the year 2020, which led to all his benefits and entitlements reinstated.
Now, my father was in prison for a long time, and then IBB, one of the things he did was to pardon my father just before he left. But he didn't make it official. So although my father was released in 1993, he lived like a pariah. No one wanted to touch him. No one was sure about him until 2020, when the government of, Muhammad Buhari pardoned him officially. And his rank and entitlements were restored. And, all that backlog of payments of, salary and pensions and everything was now paid to him.
Now, there are some things in life that cannot just be explained away. Some coincidences, some patterns, some outcomes that is hard to understand and explain through logic. Because tell me why the very same fate of fatal punishment for false accusation, which landed Lieutenant Colonel EFFIONG in jail and distorted his whole family, came visiting his son, Daniel Etim EFFIONG, years after. Some spiritual people have a different interpretation to these kinds of coincidences. Do let us know what you think about these kinds of things down in the comment section. Some have called it generational this and generational that. Let us get what you think down in the comment section. So what happened? Daniel was a church boy in school. Those who know him have testified that he was one of those spirit cocoa guys that go for night vigil, participate in prayer sessions in the open field in school. He was active in church drama groups, doing his thing and minding his business.
I was in University of Technology, Mina, and I didn't know how I was going to move from this engineering major to the arts. I knew only acting in church. So one day I was praying about it in the field. We used to go to the field in ETIM to pray, and I heard the Lord say to me that you would make films.
During the first semester of his 300 level, he was already halfway into the program, counting down to graduation. The school published a list of cult members, secret cult members. 150 names were published, and somehow Daniel's name made it to the list. He was shocked to his bone marrow.
First semester at 300 level, the school came up with a list of 150 cult members to be expelled from the university, and my name miraculously found its way on the list.
According to him, he didn't know what cultism was, nor had he participated in anything of that nature. Ladies and gentlemen, that was how Daniel's woes in school began. From one panel after the other, from one disciplinary committee after the other, his parents came to school. That's his adopted parents. There was nothing that was not done.
My parents came to school, oh, what, and the school said, no, that was what happened. This is what your son is accused of, and he has to go through disciplinary hearing.
After all was said and done, he was suspended indefinitely from school. That indefinite suspension was later replaced with an outright expulsion.
I became a secret cult member overnight to be rusticated from the Federal University of Technology, and that broke me.
Now imagine a young boy who life had already dealt boss blows, who had already experienced so much trauma and pain right from when he was one, like he was literally born into misfortune. And now here he was trying to make meaning of his life, only for him to be rusticated from school for something that he didn't do. That is more than enough to send anyone to rock bottom, to make them give up, have suicidal thoughts and say, God hates me, life has forsaken me, what am I even doing here? But not Daniel ETIM EFFIONG. Oh my God. And that is why I always preach that we equip our children with mental toughness and doggedness, because we can only wish and pray for the best for them, but we can never know the platter that life will serve them. So it's better that they are mentally prepared for whatever and not see it, than for them to see it and not be mentally prepared for it. And that is why I encourage we modern parents, as we call ourselves. If you go to my lifestyle, my personal channel, Neze Peperempe, do follow. If you're not following, you would see videos that I have made on it. Even on our premium channel, our exclusive channel, I hope that you guys have joined, where I discuss these kinds of issues that can mold and shape our lives. I have a prepared video on how to properly prepare our children mentally with the confidence to navigate life. So this, Jaden, over-parenting. Kamsi. If Jaden wants to wear shoe, before Jaden can struggle to wear that shoe, you have jumped in and won it for him. If Jaden wants to try and figure out the arrangement of a t-shirt to put it on, instead of sitting back and observing and letting him figure it out, helping him build the confidence, the tenacity, and the resilience that comes from surmounting everyday small task, you jump in and wear it for him. Jaden at 5 cannot finish eating and carry his plate and pack it or comb his hair. Jaden is having a minor misunderstanding with a fellow baby Jaden at the playground. He is not being abused. I didn't say parents cannot step in when their children are being abused. I mean a minor misunderstanding with another Jaden. And instead of letting Jaden figure out and begin mastering emotional control, people management, being fine with rejection, you jump in to fight for Jaden. Raising emotionally weak children. You are not helping that child, because life can be unpredictable, and none of us can guarantee our stay here in the next 5 years. Not even tomorrow, not even the next minute. So let us prepare our children for any weather, whether we will be there to help them figure it out or not. We will talk about this more on our premium channel. Don't fail to scan this code to join, or click on join down below to join here on YouTube. So back to the story. We are telling the story and we are learning from the story. While ETIM was going through these difficult, dark times, the whole expulsion turmoil was going on. He ran into a reality TV show firm calling for an audition. It was for the Amstel Malta box office reality TV show season 2. Now, he had watched the season 1 and liked it. Besides, he had always loved the arts. Remember that despite he was studying engineering, a core science course, he was in the church drama group in school, being involved in matters of the arts. He had suddenly gotten expelled from the university, sitting at home, trying to find meaning and reason and purpose and direction. He could either coil in, feeling sorry for himself and wondering why me, or he could brace up and face life. He knew that crying over spilt milk has never ever gotten that spilt milk back in the jar. He went ahead and applied for the audition.
While all of that craziness was happening, I saw a reality TV show form, and I picked it up and I was like, this is interesting. I watched the season 1 of this show. Okay, maybe I should apply for the season 2, who knows, So I just filled the forms. It was Amstel Malta box office season 2, and immediately I got expelled. I got invited for auditions. It was like a dream. I was like, okay, this is getting real. Like, I thought it was a joke at first.
There were thousands of applicants from all over the country, and they kept getting shortlisted all the way down to the top 20 persons, and then down to only 10 persons. Daniel ETIM EFFIONG was amongst the 10 finalists selected for the show. Now talk about blessing in disguise. You see, these stories I tell you are not just for entertainment purposes, as I keep reiterating and re-emphasizing. They carry messages, life lessons that we all, you and I, should learn from. Are you seeing how that expulsion that looked every inch like misfortune, like a curse, at the time was preparation, was orchestration, was a blessing in disguise, was God preparing him for a greater purpose and destiny? God sure works in mysterious ways, because when he went into that show, he was trained extensively in acting, dancing, performance, and singing. And dear ladies and gentlemen, that became the whole foundation that made him, prepared him for the star that he will become and the star that he is today.
On that show, we were to be trained in acting, in dancing, performance, and singing. At the back of my head, I knew it was an answer to prayers. I knew it was God leading me, but everything was happening so fast, it was like a dream. It didn't feel real at all. And it was years later that it occurred to me that this is the way the Spirit of the Lord was leading me to bring this thing to pass, but I couldn't see it at the time.
Sometimes the road to our success is not straight, perfectly tarred with road signs and street lights. Sometimes it could be bumpy, muddy, with unexpected twists and turns. But I assure you that if you keep driving, trusting God, if you do not give up on yourself, you will get to your destination. Let us know down in the comment section what you are learning from Daniel's story. So after Daniel attended that reality show, it ushered him into the public space. He got a small job working in the media. And would you believe that 2 years later, 2 years after he got rusticated, the school set aside the expulsion and called him back shock. By then, his mates were already in their finals, preparing to graduate. He had to quit his job and went back to school, 300 level, to sit with his juniors and finished his course, graduating as a chemical engineer. So when ETIM graduated, he got a very good job. The course he studied, chemical engineering, was hot cake in Nigeria back then. I don't know whether it's the same now. Let me know down in the comment section. Chemical engineering, petroleum engineering. Oh my God. Let us know down in the comment section if those courses are still hot cakes. What's the job market like? So he got a decent corporate job in a top oil and gas company, but his heart yearned for different. He was dying for an avenue for self-expression that the sciences was not affording him. Plus, remember that he had already tasted the forbidden fruits when he dabbled into entertainment while under expulsion. So he knew that it was one place and one place alone to find that avenue for self-expression. And he knew that it's only in the beautiful world of the arts. And so he quit his job in pursuit of passion.
So one of the bravest decisions I've ever had to make has to be quitting my 9-to-5 oil and gas job for the uncertain world of entertainment. At the time, I had a degree in chemical engineering and I worked as a process engineer for one of Nigeria's foremost oil and gas companies. I was stuck in engineering. I had a 9-to-5 that allowed me to do nothing else. I would go to offshore installations, to project teams, to offshore installations to work, and I would come back to Lagos and it was the same cycle all over again. In my spare time, I would go for plays, open mic events, go on sets to visit my friends, and I just knew deep down in me that that was the life I wanted. I wanted to be creative, and so I didn't tell anyone. I just quit my job.
After resigning, ETIM got a job as a content producer for Ndani TV. The pay was not as great as the oil company paid, but he found joy, purpose, and fulfillment doing it.
And immediately tried to get another job as a content producer for one of Nigeria's top online TV stations. Immediately I got the job. That's when I told my family and friends that, I had quit my engineering job. It came as a huge surprise to them, but I allayed their fears with the fact that I had gotten another job in entertainment, even though it was a 9-to-5.
He will later proceed to the AFDA Film School in South Africa, where he will study filmmaking, writing and directing, and then later on proceed to take an additional filmmaking course at the University of Johannesburg. And that was how his journey into stardom began.
After a year as a content producer, I felt I needed more. I needed to push myself. I needed to get some form of formal training in the arts. So I went to South Africa, where I studied writing and directing, and I ended up getting a master's degree in audiovisual communication. I came back to Nigeria, and the rest is history.
In the early 2010s, ETIM took on roles in a string of web and television series that included God Damn It, It's Monday in 2012, Giddy Up in 2013, and The Men's Club in 2018. His breakthrough came in 2019 in the Kenyan comedy film Plan B, where he played the Nigerian CEO of a Nairobi-based company, and that role won him the Best Actor in a Comedy Award at the 7th AMVCA Awards in 2020. That same 2020, Daniel made his directorial debut with Fishbone, starring alongside Shafi Bello. He received the Best Actor Award at the Africa International Film Festival in 2022 and was nominated for Best Actor at the 2023 Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards. He also received an Africa Movie Academy Awards nomination for Best Actor in a Leading Role. He appeared in Blood Sisters, Netflix's first original Nigerian series, which reached the top 10 in over 30 countries. In 2024, He starred in Oloture, The Journey, another Netflix limited series. And in 2025, he directed and starred in The Herd, which reached #1 on Netflix Nigeria's charts, getting over 6 AMVCA nominations. Daniel also played Dr. Ifeanyi in Kemi Adetiba's To Kill a Monkey. Daniel ETIM is a brand ambassador to several big brands like Nivea, Mattel Nigeria, Moe and Chandon, amongst others. Through talent, discipline, perseverance, and an unbreakable will, Daniel ETIM EFFIONG has grown to firmly establish himself as one of the finest and brightest stars in Nigeria's film industry. And his journey is not only remarkable, it is truly inspiring. Now that we know all about Daniel, or at least a good part of his story, and where he is coming from, what are these constant backlash and criticism that he keeps facing when it comes to his marriage? That now the online committee of friends have named him and his wife couple of particular concern. What is the matter? What is the issue? In our next video, we will go into all of that. Stay glued and do not skip a bit. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're coming across my face for the first time, or if you've been watching us without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your thoughts down in the comment section. Join our premium exclusive channel where we spill knowledge and gems around life, relationship, marriage, and everything like that. You can join by scanning this code, or better still, joining here on YouTube by clicking join just by my name below before you get to the comment section. Thank you so much guys for watching. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in our next one. For now, bye.